Hi. Oh, excuse me, sinus. I want to say something about the Sacred Stone Camp up in make sure I got it right, North Dakota. Um, with the pipeline going through there and destroying the waterway. Um, you know, my Aunt Lorraine, she said she had Cherokee in her. She was dark skinned, and like over here we have Tuscaloosa. Um, I'm saying it wrong, but Tuscaloosa, Indians, and um, Brock, who's dead now, tore down his house. You know, everybody's like, oh, you can make money renting. Nobody, no, they were just too poor here. Schools are that bad. But anyway, to see them destroying the waterway. When I was in Wichita, Kansas, I remember standing on the Lewis Bridge. It was like a very lovely day. I know it was like spring. I can't tell you what month. The late 80s. It was like 88 or 89. And we saw this brown foaming sludge take over this beautiful blue water. And it was some deal right after, like something with the Chinese and the Colemans had made a grievous error. Anyway. So, but I seen this, and when I was in New Orleans, I happened to be in the Hurricane Katrina. I was in the Superdome 6 nights and 6 days, and the relationship with water becomes different because I remember like my Aunt Lorraine when I was referring to, she had this thing with water. They used to have a well here. Water, like to her, was food. You're talking about sacred because and that hot August and that Superdome, you know, water is food. Water is life. Um, uh, I can see it like with some of the other people. I can go a little longer without food, but that fucking water, man, And like now they want to go to Mars, and I think they're only gonna live like 86 days. Yeah, could come to environmental pressures. If there was gonna be life on there would have been life on there, and you know, you can't, the laws of physics you can't really, climate change is real. Uh, 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 Reality and truth uh, cannot be. Anyway, so what? Destroying the water is not. And you see the National Guards there with the giant tanks, with these people there with like nothing. Getting these tanks, these like multiple shooting guns, the rapid fire type of machine guns they got going on there. These are weapons of war. These are weapons to kill. These are weapons of murder. And you notice with the digital people, they have a high level of them, like they say suicide and they say murder. Look, let me tell you something about crazy racist white folks. They don't see the whole big picture. They see like, oh, it's supposed to be only white. And I think like communists and the Chinese and all them, they profit from this type of ignorant, racist type of double binding hypocrite type of thinking. It's evidence in that now we're buying everything from China, Indonesia, Vietnam, etc. That area, and we're not manufacturing it here. So it's very obvious if you look at it from that way, and destroy our water supply. Like for our Congress, for the GOP not to be able to put in something have the lead taken out of these people's water. These people have been devastated by the politics and economics of a society that, if you want to know the truth, if you talk about capitalists, you have to think about slavery. If you want to look at the sports as an example, they buy and sell and trade. That's what you do to people that and people were known in the slavery to buy their way out of slavery. So it wasn't like people weren't getting paid. Capitalism doesn't mean you're not getting paid. It just means that you're not living off the land. You're not growing your own food. You're not growing your own like cotton to make your own clothes. So you're not clothing, housing, or feeding yourself. You're not transferring yourself. You have to go. It's like a monopoly game. Certain people they have like their control of the oil and the electric and let's say radio waves and the telephone. And you got other people that are in control of the food. Like we talk about our food here in the United States being organic, they modified. Um, so I stand with the people of Sacred Stone Camp and North Dakota, the Standing Rock uh, Sioux Reservation. I want to say Sioux Reservation. Woo. I have like a problem. Ugh, just dealing that is such a reality and such a state. It reminds me of this story once. I know it's getting long, but it reminds me of this story once where I used to sit at this bench and believe it or not, men at one time were great teachers to boys and their daughters. If they was adopted, the daughter and the son knew, like maybe the daughter be a midwife. Anyway, just imagine, right? And like I can say my dad was a good storyteller, and his friends were great storytellers. But like, if you remember the cartoons, the Jetsons, well, supposedly when these when European Spaniards came to some place in South America, was like these Aztec Indians. The what the white men thought was God. They didn't think like God. They didn't think the same way. They had different culture than the European culture. The European try to project their culture, their ideas and actions on the behaviors of others, and it didn't really work. But anyway, I digress. But and so they had helicopters, they had like all this, but it was only to the learned, and it was just a few, like a few families where like the mother and the father, they taught the kids because that's how they did when they didn't have like a school, like we have neighborhood schools like we have today. A lot of it was depending on your parents. If your parents were farmers, that's what you learned. If they were fishermen, that was what you learned. If they weave rugs, that's what you learned. If they worked in getting salt and like like these people were sort of weird. They took salt right out of the sea and did it, and so it was supposed to. They worked with nature. They had a respect and understanding of life, and that they was part of this earth, and the earth was alive. They saw the earth as a live entity. Yeah, because it reproduced, like the trees, the flowers, you know. To them, that was alive. The water, the air. So, this is life. We can anything, any like that reproduced something was life to them. And took in, certain elements, and they had a thing with elements and atoms too. But anyway, but so what happened was is there was this family that supposedly British European white people, Spanish people were after, and they attacked them. Uh, that whole family escaped, but they had got like a cousin, And they asked this one, like, like now that we are taking over, because like they would have in their dreams, they would be able to predict, um, or if they were in like a REM state, they was able to sort of comprehend the reality. Until a lot of people that was predicting the future. But if you're living the truth and like they call it the third eye, it's not really the future. It's just that a lot of people don't see the forest through the trees. So he was like, no, it's no longer gonna be like the cartoon Jeffersons. It's not gonna be like that. It's not gonna be harmony. Because the first thing that white people want to do was suppress when they came from Europe that they had a problem. Like they would automatically convert to like wanting to live off the land, wanting to have to use their brain and be clever to, make a dwelling, and they like showing their kids this, because some people like the kids like if it's only 5 years old, and let's say you're like say you're just like 20, and you got a kid that's 5 years old, so you have whatever 15, right? You're gonna feel a lot smarter because you know a whole bunch more. Because this kid ain't coming to world didn't know nothing. So you know it was so you passed on, and both parents they taught like, and the kids they didn't even like until they were 6 years old didn't even like feed themselves. Like they would the parents would like food them, but once they got into awareness, then they and they realized the world didn't rotate around them. Then like every so often because of the brain development, because you got to real anyway. I digress again. So, and water is important. Water it could cause certain parasites, bacteria. Uh, you don't have it, you could die within 6 days. So I'm against the pipeline. I'm against them traveling fuel uh, through pipelines. I think if they do have spills over with trucks or trains, it won't be as much as it is in a pipeline, and it won't be devastating because it's not only human life. It's all we all have to drink water. Let's just face it. If you have to live in the truth, then you understand that this is a bad thing that causes certain like toxins and poisons and earthquakes, and it's flammable, and it's not a good thing, and it does destroy the water because the oil, and everybody knows oil and water doesn't mix. That this type of thinking, and I guess these people think they're gonna go to Mars, right? Okay, so you go there, live 86 days. I bet you that's all you're gonna fucking live. Please, there's no air up there.